So dear,
Yes, honey.
what's on the agenda for today? It has been such a long time. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. I no longer have hair on the top of my head. You'll be happy to know I've started hosting Family Feud.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
You can catch me every night on your TV station. Got my own radio show, the Steve Harvey Morning Show. What the hell? No, seriously though. It's just a lot has changed, and this is the episode where the whole build-up has culminated. Right before I was literally right there is the baby of the hour. It's Baby Perry. It is Jaleel Oliver. You'll see his name across the screen in editing. We're tired.
I feel great.
You feel great. You're not short on sleep.
Not really.
I'm tired. But anyway, let's get right into the episode. It's probably going to be a very, very detailed, very long, split up in parts episode. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. Dear,
Yes, honey.
what is on the agenda for today?
Well, we are talking about our labor and delivery. And I figured we would start with Operation Eviction.
Yes, as you so affectionately labeled it.
So as soon as they told me I was 36 weeks and I had the all clear if I went into labor, everything was going to be all right, I started trying to evict this little fella. I was completely over being pregnant. I did absolutely everything under the sun to get this little fella out. I walked. We did curb walking, pineapples, the red raspberry leaf tea, sex, every little thing that was possibly on Google, everything that anybody has ever tried to tell me. I was trying because I was trying to have him sooner rather than later. I was hoping he would come early. We tried Scalini's. That didn't work for us.
But it was good.
So if you don't know, Scalini's is a restaurant here in Atlanta. They have this eggplant parmesan dish that oftentimes sends women into labor. They have like a whole wall, which I think I have some footage of, where these women go and eat this dish and then they go into labor within 48 hours. That didn't work for me. We went on, a Tuesday? Tuesday before my due date.
I do think it was Tuesday, yes.
We went on Tuesday before my due date. So that was maybe like the 12th. He came on the 18th. So that obviously didn't work for me. But I tried literally everything up under the sun. Because I was excited to meet him. But mostly because I was tired of being pregnant.
And for the record, I would still recommend Scalini's. As a matter of fact, I think we should just show the clip.
We are just leaving Scalini's.
Are you recording?
Yes. What'd you think, Dad?
Ooh, that food was amazing.
Tried the eggplant parm to help get baby out. Today is April 12th. Claim is that he'll come within 48 hours, so.
That food was just,
Thank you.
oh my gosh.
All right. I guess I'll hopefully something will happen within the next 48 hours. But if it don't, Ed loved his food.
That food will make you sing. That food was just falling in love with food is falling for make-believe. Falling in love with food is playing the fool. Eating too much is such a obese fantasy.
Okay. All right. Well,
Eating with crust is just for children in school.
We'll see if anything happens in the next 48
hours. I fell in
hours.
love with Scalini's one night when the moon was full.
I'm gonna end the video now.
I was unwise with eyes and...
All right. So, Scalini's didn't work. And I went on, I guess you would call it a semi-maternity leave. I started working from home the week of my due date. So the week of he was due on April 15th. So I think that was April 11th. I started working from home just in case, my house is closer to the hospital than my job. So we both started working from home. Waiting on this little fella to make his arrival. Still in Operation Eviction. Trying everything under the sun. I know my neighbors must have looked at me crazy because I was out there walking the curb with my big old belly every single day, bouncing on the yoga ball, prenatal Zumba, literally everything under the sun, trying to get this little fella out. And my due date came and went.
Yeah, April 15th was on the Friday. And I was so excited. If you know me, I love to hoop and preach and I don't want to be a preacher, but I just love the art form of preaching. And if you know anything about black preachers and black church at all, Easter weekend has like this whole production where the preacher always talks about he went in on the Friday, he stayed there all day Friday, stayed there all day Saturday. But on Sunday, he got up with all power. Oh, I mean, they just go all out. And I had a whole delivery, preaching, presentation for the trip to the hospital. I was ready to lay it out and hoop and holler and go into the second win and come back with, don't wait till the battle is over. I need you to shout now. I mean, I had it all laid out. As a matter of fact, I'm still going to do it. I'm not letting that go to waste. But we did go on Sunday. We did go to the hospital on Sunday, and not because I was just set on preaching for the baby to come, but because you started having contractions Sunday morning. I got up, put on church. We were streaming church services, and
so I actually started having contractions before you woke up, and that's something that people don't discuss. Like when you ask, like, I'm a first-time mom. I've never done this before. So it's like, how do I know I'm in labor? And everybody's just like, oh, you'll know. But, I've been having Braxton Hicks contractions, which are like practice contractions for weeks now. So I'm like, every little thing, I'm like, is this it? I don't know. And so at 8 o'clock that morning, I got up because I figured, I don't know, I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to go to work on Monday. So I was going to clock in and do my tasks that I normally do on Monday. Just so my team wouldn't be struggling. And so I woke up, I got downstairs, I opened the laptop, and then that first contraction hit, but I still was in denial. I was like, dang, that was a real strong Braxton Hicks contraction. That was at 8 o'clock. I was like, okay, let me at least write down the time. This is at 8. And I'm thinking that, your labor, they make it seem like when you start having contractions that they'll start out far apart and then gradually they'll get closer together. So you have time, to get yourself together before you have to go to the hospital. So I had one at 8 o'clock and then I had another one around 8:45. And then after the 8:45 one, I went upstairs and I was just gonna go back to bed. So came upstairs, I laid down, and then at 9 o'clock, that 9 o'clock contraction, I knew. I was like, no, this don't feel like a Braxton Hicks. Like I think this is the real deal. So I went to try to sit in the tub because they said that, if you lay down, there are certain things you can do that if they are practice contractions, they'll go away with. So I tried drinking water and laying down. I tried getting in the tub. But that 9 o'clock one, after that, there was no like spread apart. Like they came 5 minutes apart after 9 o'clock. It was 9:05, 9:10, 9:12. So that's when you came in. I was in the bathroom. I guess I was moaning and groaning. You came in talking some, is that you in there making some ghost noises?
Yeah, I woke up to a ghost in the house. All I heard all morning was just, and I know I've been living right for Christ, so I know, no ghost was coming to harm me. We were the first people to buy this house. I know it's no spirits in the wall, so unless we put them in there, and I know I won't be coming back to haunt myself, so I just woke up. First of all, I was scared. Second is Easter Sunday, so I'm, ready to go. And I said, are you having contractions? And I think you said something like, no, not really.
Denial. I was in denial.
And she went in and she just moaned all morning. I couldn't even hear the preacher because every time he said, she was saying, So I just finally got up and I just started putting clothes on because whether she knew it or not, I knew that this baby was on the way. So I just started getting dressed. I got both the hospital bags for my car and her car. And I just started getting everything together, packing the bags and everything. And then I guess you saw me started getting ready. And then you started getting ready.
So without saying anymore.
Without saying to each other that it's time, we just started going through the motions of getting ready. So in a way, they were right. You will know when it's time, at least if you ask me, because nobody had to tell me, nobody had to give me the cue. I just knew in that moment, this was something we had never seen before, and he was about to make his debut. Now, this is the part I'm really, really excited to get to because this is the part that we have been advertising and pushing, and I've been making jokes about it. And I've been saying, I doubt it's going to happen, but she was so confident. When we loaded up the car, of course, our other cast member, Reggie, we had to put him in the kennel, and her aunt came in, and, she was able to pick up Reggie and watch him while we went to the hospital. So we put Reggie up, packed him up, got everything ready. And Janicia's original plan, if you remember, if you've really been watching the Dear Honey podcast, you know that she was so gun-ho on, we're going to stop at McDonald's and we're going to drop Reggie off and I'm going to go get my nails done and then I'm going to go to the spa.
I did plan to stop and get something to eat.
We're going to go back to Scalini's.
No,
and
that was
then
the only
we're going
thing.
to visit your folks in Macon. Then we're going to fly to New Orleans and catch my people. And then we're going to fly back to Atlanta. And then we're going to catch the 5 o'clock show. And then we're going to go home and take a nap. And then we're going to get up and we're going to drive to the hospital. And then when we get to the hospital, we're going to tell them we're coming back tomorrow to have the baby. And then we're going to go back home, do it all over again, and then be at the hospital at 12 noon the following day, right?
So in actuality, the plan was for us to stop and get something to eat. Because, if you don't know, when you're in labor, you don't really get to eat. And if you know me, you know that I'm greedy and I need to eat.
You're not you when you're hungry.
So this was all under the pretense of my contractions. I thought that they were going to be far apart and then slowly get closer together. They tell you you're not supposed to go to the hospital until they're 5 minutes apart. Well, mine's jumped from being 45 minutes apart to being 5 minutes apart. Like there was no warning or there was no gradual about it. Like they literally 8 o'clock, 8:45, and then 9:05, 9:10. So by then, I'm afraid because they've stressed so much that once they're 5 minutes apart, go to the hospital. So I was originally thinking that, once I see that they're like 10-15 minutes apart, we can leave and then I can stop and get something to eat and stuff. But I didn't have that opportunity because they immediately jumped to 5 minutes apart.
So needless to say, Daddy was right. We had to go straight to the hospital. And luckily it was a Sunday, so there was no traffic. If you know, living in Atlanta, traffic can be ridiculous. And just as me being the driver, the designated driver in that moment, I knew months ahead that I was hoping he wouldn't come during rush hour, because then it would just be horrific, and at least on me. So the roads were wide open. We got a couple of clips to show you guys on our trip to the hospital, but it was a quick and easy trip for us. So let's see what we got. It's happening right now, like right now, live. And never have I been the one who pulls out a camera before she does. But it's happening. You got anything to say? She ain't in the mood today. It's tough, it's rough. But we are on our way. So we'll bring more a little bit later. We just missed all of the yelling and the contractions and the curse words. But more to come. Okay, so that was just a snippet of the trip. Now, I know a lot of you are wondering. Now, I know Ed is going to cut up in the car, and Ed is going to make jokes and everything, and I know he worked your last nerve, girl. And in those videos you saw, I was probably very quiet and very just hush. Oh, look at the circus in town. Because I was terrified out of my mind. I was scared, and furthermore, my wife said a lot of words off camera that you guys were not able to hear. That just, I never heard such a plethora of curse words and foul language being flown in such a short period of time. Especially coming from her mouth. And I know she had a potty mouth, but I mean, this just was like new levels, like Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, Samuel L. Jackson. On this day, they could have taken notes from her. And so I didn't want to be on the chopping block and get cursed out. I almost did, because she was having breathing issues. And I just know, as you know, what they told us, when the woman is having breathing issues, contractions, she's supposed to do these breathing exercises. So I just put on a video again. Me, crazy me. I go to YouTube and pull up the white woman. You know, I had the white guy telling me how to be a dad, so I brought the white woman in to tell her how to breathe. And she just was getting agitated by the second. I was being dead serious, like, this is gonna help you with the breathing.
So most of the time my eyes were closed through the contractions. So all of a sudden I hear blasting through the speakers, "All right, let's remember our breathing." And I just remember saying, "Ed, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that."
That's not what she said.
What'd I say then?
I don't want to hear that bloop bloop. And
that's
so,
a lie.
You know, that's the truth too. And she just laid it out on me about this white lady. So I just stopped, tried to find another one with a black lady, but all of them were coming from white ladies. So I guess black women, y'all don't do breathing exercises. I don't know, but I couldn't find the video.
Anyway, so we pull up to the hospital. You asked if I wanted you to drop me off at front, but my contractions by then were like 2 minutes apart. So I wanted, one, I'm scared, so I want to be with my husband. And then two, I didn't think that I could make it by myself to walk in the lobby, because my contractions were that strong and that close together. So luckily we have a electric vehicle, so we could park in the front anyway. So we parked, and it was literally only like 20 feet to the lobby, and I had to stop. I had to keep stopping because I was having contractions, and I guess they saw us from the inside. They came out with a wheelchair and took us up to admissions. This is where normally they would take you to triage to make sure that you're actually in labor. Well, while I'm sitting there signing all these papers, even though I've already did my pre-admissions, but there are certain papers you have to sign once you get there, I was very ticked off about it. All of my signatures just look like straight lines because I was just trying to get, at this point, I'm just trying to get my epidural. So I'm signing these papers, and then you're going to give them to the desk clerk, and I just feel this. My water breaks in the lobby, in the wheelchair, and it's just everywhere. So they come and bring, try to clean up as best as they can. And then you turn around, and then I throw up all over the lobby in my mask. 'Cause mind you, we're still pandemic wise, so I had on a mask. So I filled up my mask, and then it went everywhere. And at that point, I guess that's when triage left the minds of everybody. They immediately just took me to a room.
And there was a nice, especially in this month, the celebration of Asian Americans. There was a nice Asian American couple across from us that got pushed to the side. When we came in
our defense, there were like 3 or 4 pregnant women in the lobby. I'm the only one that seems like I'm in any kind of pain. Like everybody else is sitting there putting on makeup.
And they were looking at us like we had the plague or something. But I mean, I'm sure they were terrified out of their mind. Not to mention, we have the best family in the world. When I tell you, I mean, my people, her people, they are really our people. I mean, we tried to create a group on the way to let everybody know that the baby is on the way. And from the moment we did that, we were getting calls and text messages, and the point of the group message was to keep everybody on the same page. And then they were texting and calling, and it was hilarious to me because I know you were like, I just want to silence. I don't want to hear nothing right now. So it was funny. I know they really cared, and they're great. Like I said, our people are great people. I really do love them. And then I was trying to be the PR person in between. So as things were happening, I was trying to update and then answer the doctor and then make sure you were okay. So family was definitely interesting as well. I don't think we were prepared and had an effective game plan on how to manage family. But I mean, now we know. Now we're giving you this advice. So when you go in on events like this, if you are a person like Janice says, like, listen, in this moment, let me have this moment. Let me get through this, and then we'll do updates. But you know me, I'm laughing at anything all the time anyway.
But luckily, he was laughing on the inside because I didn't see any of that.
Yeah, I was not laughing. Again, I'm afraid for my life. And so anyway, they take us to the room. They get us in the room, and they set everything up. We had this awesome nurse. Who ironically, her name was Nisi. Mm-hmm. So Nurse Nisi came in. She was phenomenal. She took care of Janicia.
As soon as she came in the room, she was like, "Are you Mrs. Perry?" I was like, "Can I have an epidural?" She was like, "We haven't even admitted you yet." I was like, "I just want to get on the list because I know that epidurals, it takes a while for the anesthesiologist to come to you," which I'm glad I did request it when I did. Because it still took them about 2.5 hours to get to me.
Now we got there at 11:30. That's going to be very, very important. We're at the hospital. We checked in. We're in the room by at least 11:30. So remember that.
11:30. By the time they check me, I'm 3 centimeters dilated. And we're just waiting. She's asking me all these questions, which is asinine to me because my my OBGYN has already faxed over all of my medical records to the hospital. I've already did my pre-admissions. Y'all already have all of my information, but they have to confirm it with you. So they're asking me everything under the sun. How many hairs are on your head? What's your social security number? What street did you live on when you were 12? They're asking me all these questions, and my contractions, they put me on a monitor. And I'll try to put a picture up. The monitor, your contractions look like little hills, little mountains, right? And they're measured in 20s. So it's like 20, 40, so on and so forth. My contractions were so strong that the peaks of my hills were not on the monitor. And then not only that, they're coming about a minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes apart. So literally, I have 2 seconds to breathe and then another one's coming. So I was just, at this point, I was feeling not defeated, but it was rough, to say the least.
So with there at 11:30, Nurse Niecy comes in. She's great. She did something that I did not know. I really should have appreciated. She even acknowledged me. And this is not about dads or about me or everything, because in this entire moment, first of all, let me pause and say I am just astounded. I'm amazed. I don't know. I can't even find the words to describe just how in awe and how proud and how privileged I am to be married to you. Just in that moment, to see her go through what she went through and how she went through it, and to be helpless, not her, me. Because in these moments, our whole relationship together, I've prided myself on, well, at least I can provide her, at least I can protect her, at least I can do this for her, at least I can do that. In this moment, I'm just on the sidelines trying to be like, yay, you can do it. And I don't know if that's working or not. That's all I can do. I'm not a doctor. I can't do anything. But just to see what she went through, how she went through it, she was a trooper. She did it. I don't want to spoil the whole journey, so I'll probably save my second half of my congratulations and just bowing down in honor and respect for her later. But just from the time we got in, seeing what she endured as a man, I know I probably would have tapped out a long time ago with what she went through. But back to my point, Nurse Niecy came in, she acknowledged her, she acknowledged that, she took care of both of us to make sure that we were taken care of. And we were told before we even got to the hospital, Northside Hospital is the premier maternity hospital in the nation.